Okay, yeah, I'm Paul Duram of Amrise, and I co-chair the technical committee with Cengiz.
And my name is Cengiz Gulamet. I'm with Metro Testing and Engineering. I'm also the co-chair with Paul.
Yeah, so we'd like to recognize all the other members of the technical committee. There are quite a lot of us on there, I think 15 total. We've had over 10 meetings this year and countless email chains going through with tons of very interesting spec references and technical jargon. So yeah, thanks to Chris, Craig, Chung, Chris, Glenn, Karan, and Mohammed, Josh, Kyle, Ziad, Alexander, Daniel, and Unsu. You can see all their full names on the slide there.
Okay, this year the Concrete BC's Technical Committee held 6 meetings with the bridge and concrete materials teams from MOTT, the Ministry of Transportation and Transit, so be aware it's not MOTI anymore. These meetings included joint meetings with Washington State DOT, joint meeting with the Canadian Precast Concrete Institute, or CPCI, and 4 quarterly concrete BC MOT joint technical meetings. The quarterly meetings also included half-day tours of the following: Metro Testing's lab in Burnaby, which was great. We had demonstrated the concrete testing, and we got into quite a lot of the conversation on RCP, modular elasticity, and even after that, we spent another half an hour outside. JT Ready Mix Precast Plant at YVR in Richmond. They're supplying the Patello Bridge project. Amrise Cement Plant in Richmond, including a sustainability presentation from Environment and Climate Change Committee, and Paul was the one that hosted us. That was great. And the Surrey Langley SkyTrain Extension precast facility in Surrey, that was more recent. Each of these tours preceded our quarterly joint technical committee meetings and usually included an informal lunch to try and get to know each other better.
Yeah, so thanks to these engagements and the open dialogue that we've had for quite a number of years with the ministry right now, there have been a lot of positive changes that were officialized in their 2025 updates to the standards that came out in both the SS, which is their standard specifications, and the SX19, which is their bridge design guide. Both were updated in February 2025. We had touched on all the expected changes last year, but now they're official, so I'll go over them again. So GUL's been allowed in both the pre-stressed, precast environment and also in sulfate environments. This is thanks to over a decade of research and testing and data that we've shared with them. There is still a carve-out for shotcrete for rock bolts. It's mainly because Section 209 was kind of forgotten and isn't used very often, so they just didn't update it at all. They are aware, but there's no plan to update it in the near future. Slag has been accepted in SS 211 and 413, so they can be used in any concrete, whether it's precast or cast in place. It had been accepted in the bridge design standard for years, but now it's officially accepted everywhere. A big one was with the concrete placing time. So for bridge decks, it was increased from 45 minutes to 90 minutes. For all other concrete, from 90 minutes to 120 minutes. That's not exactly what we'd hoped for. We were hoping for 120 minutes for the bridge deck mixes as well. That being said, they have a whole process where you can extend the concrete lifetime to up to 3 hours, including the bridge deck concrete, as long as you use HSA and you do set time and slump stability testing. So this is a real great improvement and will make it a lot better for concrete producers to bid on ministry work. There's also been better alignment with MOTT specs and CSA. First, when you look at hot and cold weather concrete, mostly curing practices, but also in matching the maximum nominal size aggregate 20 mil gradation to exactly meet CSA. There was also some changes to add in Tremi concrete definitions and allowances for higher cementitious content and smaller sized aggregate, and a removal of all prescriptive minimum cementitious content requirements. There were, separate to the standards, 2 new MOT special provisions that we really worked on with them. The first one is the allowance for an NDA or a letter signed by a PEng as an option instead of handing out your mix design to the Ministry of Transportation. And the last one there, just how to test ground sulfate testing for projects.
Oh, it does work. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, next we've got the accredited engineers. We had 7 meetings, total of 10 plus hours. So there was a lot of time commitment, mostly through, I think, all through Teams. So that was thanks to the group. Then I'll mention the people later on. But yeah, in-depth review of the plant certification program, which we had to update because CSA has updated from 2024. New audit guides were published for ready mix plant and volumetric or mobile mixer certification programs, with many of the guides revised as well. We're also looking at the early stages of preparing optional eco certification, similar to Concrete Ontario, in partnership with the Environment and Climate Change Committee. There are now additional requirements and reporting for certificate renewals, and accredited engineers must review scales and other documentations, such as aggregate qualification testing and such. And this is on an annual basis. So that's an update or a change from what it was before. These changes were reviewed and approved by the board, and new audit documentation launched in February. It remains an ongoing improvement process, and recent minor revisions were done as recently as last month. And yeah, so we keep moving. We've got the list here. We've added 4 new accredited engineers to the plant certification. The roster is showing shortly. I'll just go through their names. So on the consulting side, we've got Theo from EXL, Craig from Appleman, Mark from Thurber, Dean from EXL, myself from Metro Testing, Gene from EXL, Alexander from Thurber, and Pete from EXL, with 4 producers, 4 producer engineers, Matt Delkey from Amrise, Paul Durham from Amrise, Mohammed Dusti from Heidelberg, and Chung Fung from Burnco. So updated volumetric mobile mixer audit guides are also published. Currently, there are 4 accredited engineers on the volumetric certification roster, and that would be myself, Paul, Alexander, and Craig Appleman. And 7 volumetric mobile mixers have been certified to date, including B&B, HD Concrete, and Sustainable Concrete. So they're coming along, and there's a few more coming next week for myself.
All right, so we'll go to the next slide. And Concrete BC is active on a number of other technical boards. The first one is with CSA, so both CSA A3000, which is the cement materials compendium, and A23.1, which is concrete specs. I represent Concrete BC there with a vote on the cement side. And then Craig Appleman has been involved with the MMCD updates on the concrete flatwork. We've given technical presentations to MOTT on mass concrete, and there's been a concrete scaling and hot weather concrete module that's been presented to multiple finishers, including at ACI. We published a technical bulletin on the mix design submittal process and requests for stamped mix designs, which we're seeing a huge increase in the industry. And we're in the middle of planning for a CSA bulk resistivity correlation testing program.
Great, and if that wasn't enough, we're also continuing to respond to various technical inquiries through Jason and Willa as they come through, and through the websites and such, and these include white cement market insights, BC Hydro bag concrete mix design, ACI SCC certification, cellular concrete, and repairing tilt-up panels after cutting doors and windows, which exposes rebar. So we've got quite the range of what consultants or the general public expects us to do, so there's some consideration there. So as you can see with the work that we have and the committee members, there's a lot of smart people on board, and we do have a lot of wisdom to back us up. So lots of work still to be done. Collaboration with MOTT, that's on the plate. We're still doing 4 quarterly meetings a year. supporting members through the plant and volumetric certification processes and engagement in various technical committees that govern and regulate our industry. So I want to thank Paul. He's done quite a bit of work as well. Sometimes I'm not available, so thank you, Paul, and thanks to all our
Thanks,
members.
Genghis as well.
Any questions for us before we step away? This is our spare time.
What is spare time?
No, but again, the people that are volunteer for the time, it is a big committee, and we did encourage co-chairs on other committees, and it's slowly happening, slowly coming along, because it's a lot of work for one person.
Okay.
Big round of applause for Paul.